and welcome to the Big Report as we turn our attention to a matter of critical importance to Nigeria's economy, and that's crude oil theft. In a recent development, Nigeria's House of Representatives Special Investigating Committee has placed the blame squarely on the Niger Delta Development Commission, also known as NDDC, for its mismanagement of resources, which they say is exacerbating the ongoing crude oil theft crisis. So the committee has called for immediate reforms within the NDDC to address this growing concern.
Now, our correspondent Idong Joseph has been following this story closely. In his report, he provides a comprehensive look at the committee's findings and the implications of the NDDC and the nation's economy. Let's take a look at that report.
Crude oil theft over the years has continued to pose a significant challenge to Nigeria's economy, as the nation's revenue aspirations largely depend on the sales of crude. According to the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, between 2017 and 2020, over 4.3 trillion naira worth of crude was stolen, a situation that is unsustainable.
An economy like our own, which is largely till today depending on oil as a major substrate, major base for our economic functions and even for financing public services and infrastructure, cannot continue with this kind of serious challenge in the oil and gas sector.
While engaging critical stakeholders to understand the extent of the acts and provide lasting solutions, some lawmakers say the lack of access to petroleum products for riverine communities and the mismanagement of the Niger Delta Development Commission can be blamed for the problem.
The fallacies and shortfalls of the NDDC's statutory performance as an organization is contributing significantly to the problem of oil theft. If you guys can do the right thing, you take these boys off the street.
How do they refrigerate their fishes if they do not have PMS? So, Chairman, this is one of the root causes. Absence of PMS and AGO in the NNPCL floating station has enabled illegal bunkering.
The NDDC claims that its programs and projects within the Niger Delta region over time has helped efforts to mitigate oil theft.
By reason of that single road, being able to provide security, to intervene in any oil theft in that axis.
I know the time frame that took NDDC to build that road we are talking about. 16 years, my brother. 16 years. Building 28-kilometer road. Whether it was you are making or not, is that the right thing to do?
Other agencies like Nigeria Maritime Administration and Safety Agency present at the hearing revealed that it has not been carried along in crude oil transactions in the country. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idong Joseph.
Now that was our correspondent Idong Joseph with the latest on the House of Representatives investigation into the NDDC's role in Nigeria's crude oil theft crisis. And now Idong joins us live for more on this development story. Idong Joseph, a very good morning to you and thank you for that detailed report that you put out for us. Now, the House of Committee has clearly laid out their concerns regarding the NDDC's handling of resources. So can you give us a sense of the specific criticism, the committee chair has directed at the NDDC and what actions they are urging the commission to take on?
Okay, good morning and thank you for having me. The criticism by the House of Representatives Committee, Special Committee on Crude Oil Theft and Loss of Crude Oil Revenue, was directed specifically to the leadership and management of the Niger Delta Development Commission, accusing them that they've not been meeting up to the expectations of which the NDDC was created and what's that expectation for them to ensure that the commission take youths who are unemployed from the Niger Delta state off the streets and also as well as try to alleviate poverty, developments in the Niger Delta region, ensure that citizens in the states, Niger Delta states, feel the impact of developments and governments in their area. they feel that this commission, through their leadership, have not been able to meet up with the expectations. And despite the huge allocation they get every year, and the House feel if the NDDC is not being able to do these things, and they should also be ready to take a large portion of the blame for crude oil theft and oil bunkering in the Niger Delta region. Because these youths who are unemployed, majorly those of them who are engaged in crude oil theft and oil bunkering activities, are those who are not employed. And so if they are jobless, then they will have nothing to think about than rather think of engaging in criminal activities like the crude oil bunkering, because they feel those crude oil is being extracted at their backyard. And so if they have crude oil at their backyard and they have nothing to do, then they should engage in such criminal activities. And so that's why the House have taken it that if the NDDC has not been able to meet up to its expectations, then the issue of crude oil bunkering should be largely blamed on the management, because they have not been able to meet up to the expectations while that commission was created. And now what they want, what they urge the management now to do, because from the way they sound, they feel confident with the new management, and what they urge them to do is that go back home, try to put your house in order, ensure that citizens in this region feel the impact of this commission, and not just feel the impact, those who are unemployed, who are on the streets, try to ensure that jobs are created for them, because if they have jobs doing, then they will not be thinking of engaging in oil bunkering and other illegal activities. And so that's why the committee believe that if the NDDC will receive large portion of oil revenue yearly and not being able to meet up to the expectations, then they should take a large chunk of the blame for crude oil theft and oil bunkering.
So, Joseph, now the committee is asking the NDDC to go put its house in order. And, well, they're also telling that it might not just be all crude oil theft. But what have you found out from your investigation, your personal findings now? What's the state of things? Okay, if you look at it, not just mine, one other lawmaker raised an observation, which he said the floating filling stations, which were at the riverine communities in the Niger Delta state, has been a source of power for those residing in that area. But for over 10 years now, those floating filling stations owned by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited has not been able to supply petroleum products to this community. And so if they have no products to power their house and what have you, then they will have no option than extract those crude, which is illegal, and then try to create power for themselves. And aside from that, we've also seen over time that the management truly have reneged in their responsibilities in ensuring that citizens in that region get feel the impacts of governments.
And I must ask about, this claims of, or rather this allegations of mismanagement of funds, and saying that their handling of resources directly has contributed to this crisis. But we know that, bunkering or crude theft in that region is not new. It's been something that has been recurring the entire history of the discovery of crude oil in that area. Should NDDC bear the bulk sum of this blame?
Okay, if you look at it, if you look at what's happening over the past few years now, you see that our exports of crude has reduced, meaning that because of the lack of jobs for those in the region, it's believed that many people now are engaged in crude oil bunkering. And so there's a commission created to ensure youths in this region are being employed, poverty is being taken care of, and other aspects of life are being taken care of by this commission. If if this commission is not doing that, okay, just let's take for instance, this their recent budget is about 1 trillion naira. And if you have such a budget and citizens in that region are not feeling the impact, then yes, you should be blamed for it. And not just that, you should be blamed for it. You should try and ensure that your programs are not one that take long before citizens in that region feel the impacts of it.
Alrighty then. So finally, Joseph, let's ask what the reaction from the NDDC has been so far since the start of this situation. Are they admitting to some of the implicative statements that have been made in their direction?
Okay, the only reaction we saw was the one at the House of Representatives, where immediately the representatives of the NDDC tried to dismiss the allegation by the chair of the special committee that the mismanagement of the NDDC contributes to this. And he made mention of several projects which the NDDC have executed, and those projects they believe have helped in addressing the issue of oil bunkering. Though we should understand that the NDDC was not created to tackle oil bunkering, but they believe that those projects which they put in place have helped. And we also saw another turn where the chairman of the committee had to counter them, letting them know that this project you're talking about took quite a number of years before it was executed. So if you're boasting of such projects for taking longer time, then you're not doing what you're supposed to do, because your project should be one that have an immediate impact on citizens.
Well, then.
I mean, Joseph, I want to say thank you. And just to round this up, you've heard from both the side of the NDDC and also the reps. What then will be the solution moving forward? Is it more synergy where they have to go back to the reps to continue to find a lasting solution to this problem of crude oil, or should they just go home and create more policies and more, strategies?
Okay, I believe there are enough policies already on ground which will help address the issue. First, it will need more synergy with not just the House of Reps, but also back to the state, with the state House of Assembly, and also engagement with the community to discuss with them and know what their problems are, and not just sitting right in their office and making policies and thinking, okay, this is what I feel this community should need, and just go implement such things for them. You should also engage with the community and know what their problem is and why they've been engaged in such activities. And then that way it will help address the issue, because over the years we've seen how our revenue exports, our revenue for crude oil has dwindling, and it is not helping the nation at all.
Right. Well, Idong, we want to say thank you so much for your report, and just very insightful report that you did over the week there. Well, one thing is clear: crude oil theft is hampering on our energy sector, and there's a lot that's been left on the table, and it needs to be addressed urgently. Hopefully, with the reps stepping in with NDDC, we might just see the change that we need. But again, Idong Joseph, many thanks.
Idong, thank you very much.